Olá, amigos da Game Arena. Eu sou o Nando Show, editor de Valorant. Hoje estou aqui com o líder, novo coach da Loud aí após a derrota da equipe para a NRG. I want just to know, like, you're joining VCT now, joining Loud, your first shot on the tier one. I just want to know how you're feeling about this opportunity.
I feel grateful. I always wanted to be in the Tier 1 Americas before when I was in EMEA, and it's just a dream comes true with Loud. Also, Loud is quite famous in my country because they won 2022 champions in Istanbul, which is my city. And I always look at to them, like get inspired time to time, and I always follow them a lot. And being here is, yeah, like it's just I feel proud and happy to represent such a big organization like Loud with the big fan base.
Awesome, man. I want to know what do you see as are the differences you were coaching G2 Goals and back in the EMEA with Game Changers team. You got some titles, got a third place in GCC, and now you're coaching VCT. I want to know from your vision what are the biggest differences from these two leagues.
I think like the game style is a bit more detailed here. Like every team has their own play style in a very unique way. Like in EMEA, it was not that different, at least for GC, I can say. So, like for example, today what we were against was a totally different play style compared to our first match, and what we see from the NRG's old WODs, at least for us, for the coaching stuff. I think like the biggest difference is individual also plays like a big part a lot. Like I think in EMEA is like a bit more organized play style in my opinion, as far as I see. I'm not that like experienced here to uh like compare them yet. But as far as I see, like here, I think like the play styles are a bit more unique. And yeah, like so I don't know what else to say. Like it's a bit hard to compare for now. Maybe I can give a better answer after one season.
So unfortunately today not the result that you guys wanted. First loss of the stage for you guys. So I want to know from your vision, what was the biggest difference of the team from the week one, the game versus Lav, from today, this game with against NRG, unfortunately, a loss.
I think we made things complicated to ourselves. I think like we started many advantageous rounds on Heaven, and we ended up losing the rounds in like a very easy way, which we're not used to do these mistakes, in my opinion. And same for Korot. I think on Korot we had some answers, like we understood how they play, but like we couldn't adjust our micro macro well enough to counter them or play our game. Like we either made things too complicated, so we forgot to play our own play style, or sometimes like we just focused our own play style a lot and we forgot to micro adjust some stuff because you play against a different comp every time, right? Like one time you play against a Viper comp on Heaven, next match it can be like a double initiator. So like when you make a strategy, like you need to be able to adapt, and that's how we work also in practices. Like we're trying to also learn, how to change the micro macro when it's necessarily. And I think today we just couldn't manage to do it in a good way. That's why it's reflected as we're not either shooting back or we're not taking the correct mid-round decision, or we just forget about the timing, or we just like take solo initiative, or we fail as a team, or by myself, like cannot understand what I need to call like 100%, so I just go with my 80%. So yeah, like it was just a bit messy in our heads as a team.
Today you guys switched your map pick. First week was Ascent. Now you guys picked Haven. I want to know why you guys decided to change the picks and if Corrode was a surprise for you guys.
Um, I mean, we are prepared for almost every map, and we have like strong maps for us, of course. I cannot say all of them, of course, but yeah, like we believe the Heaven is one of our strong map. It didn't resulted in this way today, of course, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna play like this in the further time. I just feel like we just couldn't reflect it to the server. I know it's a bit like cliche, like you hear it a lot that okay, the practice is very going good, and then we just couldn't show up in the official. Yeah, but as I said, like I really believe that we had the correct reads many times. We just tried to make it more perfect in our heads, so we just couldn't find the flow of the game. Sometimes you just need to flow. Sometimes you just need to feel the game and then go a peak and then get the 2 kills. But like when I like see it in my head, the heaven map, most of the time we had the risk, like we are three people in a site and then we lose twice, and like we are too close to the area, we can just insta retake because we got the entry, but we just mess up on one micro thing, and then the situation insta equalized.
Okay, so still on talking about Corel, you guys lost a 2v5. It was so quick, so, and we weren't expecting that round to be lost. So in your view, we saw like you getting kind of mad at that round. So I wanted to know from your point of view, what do you think happened? It was like comps, they were like just a bad decision. You guys got surprised by the positioning of NRG.
It was not like a surprising for us because like we understood both of them was there. Like we were counting the planter there, and then we see Oman also planted. We knew Sova was inside too. We were ready, but as I said, like we just made things complicated there, like there we had good util. I checked the util. We have Oman Pioneer, for example. There, we know both position, we just put the Pioneer and then go on them, for example. But instead we try to play perfect, and that's what I told you before about the other positions, like we just have the advantage, and whenever we have the advantage, we just try to be, like too perfect, and I think that's something we need to get over with, and we'll be on it for the next weeks for sure. But I see this as like a good lesson in my opinion. Like I personally don't believe that like having a perfect run in the group stage and the playoffs. So you cannot win everything. Every team, sometimes you finish the group stage with five wins, and then you lose on play first match, and then you go to lower like G2, or remember the EG run on 2023. So you always learn, and I see it in this way, and I'm happy that to see these things. It was obvious for us. Everyone knows our mood is not down. By the way, team is like still feeling good because we're gonna learn from this and come back better.
Awesome. Man, throughout the week, Loud posted a video of your comms during one of the VR pauses on Icebox. It was like huge on Twitter. People got crazy. So I want to know like more about your coaching style, the way like you lead this team, the way you see things. Like you went really direct with your words. Like we need to do this, and this way, this way, this way. Are you guys with me? It was like, is this the way you want to show like the way you have your work is like very direct?
Um, yeah, like it really depends how I'm gonna use my timeouts. Like sometimes team hasn't have the correct read, so I don't need to call for anything. So of course, sometimes I will just give them some insights about okay, what's wrong, what we can do better, etc. But if it's more about like something psychological, like okay, we're not feeling good, or like we're a bit stressed, or we're not playing together, then I have to do a speech like that, and that was one of them. But yeah, like my coaching style is a bit like different in my opinion, because sometimes I just give 3 rounds calls, like I just say, okay, first round you do this, second round you do this, and third one, if it works, you do this. If it's not, then you do that, etc. So it really depends how the things are going on in the moment.
Awesome, man. Next week, match against Crew. This year, with Loud and Crew have played sometimes, so it's a
Mhm.
huge match, of course. And I want to know from you, like, what are your expectations for this match? Of course, important match. Thinking about going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be important considering that we lost against NRG today. Because like if we won against NRG, we would be in a better spot for sure. But again, like no pressure. We're gonna be prepared against Crew. We already know how they play. Like we are studying them, like from the beginning. Not that much, of course, but yeah, like we mostly gonna focus on our play style, and we're gonna just work on okay what they do like to do, etc. Like some small analysis, because sometimes people are changing. For example, Leviathan changed 2 comps against us in the official. Energy changed their heaven comp. So like I don't like to get lost into like enemy's play style. Then you forget your own identity. But yeah, like I believe if we learn our lessons from this match, I think it's gonna be like a great match that we're gonna show a good Valorant, like very very flowing, and then we know what to do. We show our like real potential individually and as a team, and yeah.
Okay, so to wrap it up, I'll leave you the space to send a message to your family, fans, and of course, your friends who support you back from Turkey, back home from Europe.
Yeah, firstly, I just want to thank to loud fans that I really feel the support all the time. Like I just read all the comments almost, like I'm just trying to be close with the fans that are supporting us, because it's like a new project, it's an international project, and they should know about us more. So I will try to be more like, let's say, clear, like what's going on Twitter. So I will just do some, like, okay, we lost the match, and because of this and that. like I did here, and I just want them to keep supporting us and then show love, not loud, but love to our players. It's important for us. And for my family, my friends, and to everyone in the Turkey, I just want to say that I'm here working hard and I'm trying to represent my country and represent this org in like the best way. Just also, I'm grateful that they're here for me all the time. They're just watching the matches, keeping me supported, motivated. But yeah,